Hey everyone, I am Artalunis, and this is my Twitch channel that I have started for the very first time today. A few things. So these videos are pre-recorded for now because it turns out my computer doesn't have a good enough graphics card to actually live stream. Like, the quality of the video that it sends out is just terrible, and no one would be able to follow what I was doing at all. So these will have to be pre-recorded for now, and then I'll just be posting them either the day that I do it or the next day, so it'll still be fairly in the same time. But because graphics cards are pretty expensive, I'm going to wait until I start actually making money before I invest in one of those, and maybe, until I have an actual fan base, people who actually want to watch me live, because if I can get to that point, if you actually want to see me live, then I'll definitely make that a priority. For now, since I'm just barely starting and I don't have an audience anyway, I'm just gonna record because I really don't want to wait anymore, and I don't have the money for a graphics card. So yeah, I'm just taking whatever I can, whatever route that I can, and for now, this is it. So I'm sorry in advance. I won't be able to chat live with you while this is going on, but I still encourage you to make comments, reach out to me, follow me. I'm obviously not doing subscriptions yet because I'm just starting out, but I'll have more information on how you can support me, maybe help me get the graphics card so I can actually live stream, all that stuff. Anyway, I am a creator, so on my channel, I will be doing things that involve creativity the most. For gaming, which is what I'll be doing today, I'll mostly be playing games that involve some sort of creative aspect. So today I'll be playing The Sims 4. And I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do yet, but I usually love to build houses on that game, but character creation can also be fun. So I'll probably do both. As far as specific challenges go, those will come along as we do this, and you can give me ideas, and I'll come up with ideas. We'll just do this together, I guess. Otherwise, I also intend on doing physical art, drawing, painting, actually making things, especially because I have an Etsy shop that I sell my creations on, and so I'll probably be doing quite a few videos of just my process and what I do and how I make these things that I sell on my shop. And if you wanted to check that out and maybe actually, instead of just investing money in me as a person, you could actually buy these creations, and then that would be another way of helping me get to the point where I could live stream. But so I'll leave links and notes and stuff about my Etsy store. It's called Jettastone Dreamists. That's kind of a mouthful though, so like I said, I'll leave links and everything. Let's see, what am I missing? Oh, since this is Twitch, I do want to keep it as close to live streaming as possible, so there won't be any real editing going into these videos. So it'll basically be like I'm doing this live. Except I do intend on posting these to YouTube as well, and the YouTube ones will probably have a significant amount of editing, whereas the Twitch ones I want to just leave alone as much as I can, even if it's embarrassing or terrible, or like this, where I'm just kind of talking. Yeah. So, hi. This is Twitch, and I'm pretending that I'm live right now, but you can't talk to me live. But it's fine. I'll still respond to you, or you know, whenever you're actually watching this. It doesn't have to be live. I'm still gonna talk to you. I'm not freaking like super famous. Like there's no reason that I wouldn't be able to respond to what, like 1 or 2 people here and there, maybe. But yeah, I guess I'll just get started now. Okay. So one of the other things I'm doing today specifically is I have the headphones on with the mic, my gaming headset. So far, it feels fine, but I won't always have this set up because I have a terrible migraine disorder, so having anything on my head is precarious at best, as in it won't last. In fact, I even have my hair up, and that probably won't stay the same throughout this whole thing either. We'll see. We'll see how I do, how my head does. These headphones specifically, like, this is supposed to be some sort of memory foam thing, which is nice, but unfortunately, my head is so sensitive that I can't even wear, like, the flimsiest of headbands. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, it's so bad. So, I'm really hoping I'll be able to make it through with using these and just be fine with that. Because any other solution isn't as good right now. Anyway. Alright. So I have a couple of plans for Sims stuff that I want to do, I suppose. Let's wait for this to get loaded up. I should have started with it loaded up. My bad. Can you tell it's my first time? Okay. Can you still okay, yeah. It says you can still hear me. And I hope you can hear the in-game stuff going on too. Oh, also, because of the migraine stuff, my eyes, in fact, they're already getting messed up just because of the light that I have on me right now. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see. But I have to wear special, what are they called? Like gunner glasses or something? Computer glasses is what I usually call them, but I guess most people call them gunners. And I can't put them on under my headphones because then the headphones will squeeze them onto my head and that'll make my head hurt worse. So I'll probably be like, yep. That's flattering, right? Whatever. I'm doing my best, and that's all I really care about at the moment. Okay, so you can probably see my games here. Okay, I'm worried about the game sound, but maybe it's fine. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be worrying too much about this. It's only my first stream, but I just want it to be right, you know? Oh dear, as I run into the microphone. Okay. So this bottom one right here is actually my brother's. That's why the characters, I guess, both look so unique. This one is one that I created. It's called Elementists because it has to do with my book characters. So when it comes to like creative stuff, I guess writing is my strong suit, and it's my favorite thing to do usually. And I've written a book actually, and it's a series, and I have these characters for it, and I've been this feels silly. I've been working on and writing these stories 12 years now. Wow, that's a long time. Yeah, I started writing my novel. I wrote my novel for the first time when I was 12. Finished it probably by the time I was 13. Self-published it like 6 months to a year later. And then when I was 19, I got the opportunity to meet Richard Paul Evans. And he told me that if I was able to rewrite the book into something that, you know, a younger than 13-year-old hadn't written, just make it something better, essentially. Just rewrite it to better. He told me that I could have a book signing at his launch party for his final Michael Vey book release. And that was huge for me. So that is exactly what I did. I rewrote my entire book in only 6 months, which doesn't sound like much, but it was a feat. It was incredible that I even did that, which I think I only was able to do because I was rewriting it and not starting from scratch. Anyway, so those characters, I have a bunch of them. I have quite a few that I haven't even written yet, so they're not like fleshed out. They're just kind of people wandering around in my head right now. And that's what this is. So Elementists Living the Normal, that's my characters that I've just put into Random Sims games. And I'll probably end up showing them to you because I did create almost all of them, I think. Or like the main characters I've basically made a sim of on here. So I'll probably show you those. Maybe later though, after like, I don't know, I actually show you my book or something. So we'll be focusing on my best creations, which I only call it that because it's the file that I am doing most of my creative stuff in. So like, I have been designing my forever home on here. I've done like 5 different drafts, I think. So that's one of the things I'm doing. I've also created my current home. This is so silly. I don't even care though, I need it. Okay, this is kind of loud though. Give me just 1 second. Not what I meant. Whoops. Let's take that down to like 30. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. The music was like blaring in my head. I could barely hear myself speak or think for that matter. Anyway. I know it's taking me a long time to get started, but that is only because it's the first one and I feel like I have to explain everything. Which I guess isn't entirely the case, but that's my personality. What can I say? All right. I have this adorable journal that my boyfriend actually gave me a couple years ago for, I think, my birthday. It's Assassin's Creed. I can't tell if I'm like... Anyway, it's Assassin's Creed. It was the Valhalla one, and since it has all of these tabs, these lovely tabs on the top, I've decided to use it as my gamer journal, which at this point, is it big enough anymore? Probably not. But I have a few, I've set aside a tab for a few things in here. Like I've got a Pokemon tab. And I have a Sims 4 tab. So here are the things I was already planning on doing just before I even was considering streaming. And that is for, I'm just going to kind of flash it. There you go. All right. So basically, for each of the worlds that I have on here, let's just get this loaded up. For each of the worlds that I have on here, I want to create a house, a home that matches the style of the world. So like, let's go to my worlds. Here we go. So as you can see, I have quite a few of them. I have all but 2 of the expansions, and then I am missing the newest game pack. I think there are a couple of game packs I still need. But for all of the expansions, though, I have most of those. And I've already created 2 homes. For, I guess I've technically created 3. Yeah. So I've created one in Sulani, which is the island-style home. And I made it kind of like, I guess I tend to just do this in general. I make these houses as if price isn't really an issue. Because in my opinion, making small houses isn't very fun. And it's much harder than you'd think it would be. But that's not to say that I don't still want to try, because if I do get Eco Lifestyle, which has the Evergreen Harbor, I suppose is what it's called. If I do end up getting that, then yeah, I will try my hand at making a tiny house. I really will. But just as a general thing about me, I tend to make them a little bit bigger, I guess. So my one in Sulani is a pretty big one. I guess I could show you these. if you want, but that seems like it'd be kind of boring at the moment, so I'll show you those later. Let me know if you even want to see them. Let's see. I'm just gonna show you guys. There you go. This is, you can kind of see a few of the things that I've done just on my front page. You can, if you play Sims, or I guess even just have an EA or Origins account, you can find me as Artalunis on there as well. I don't have any friends on here, so I'd probably friend anyone at this point. Just to keep that in mind. And then, okay, so that's it for the houses. But for each world, not only do I want to create a home that matches the style of the world, but I want to try and create at least one sim. It can be a family or like a couple or something, but I want to at least make one sim that matches the region. And for Sims, that can be, it's pretty subjective, I suppose, for the most part. Which is why I've kind of gone through and I haven't decided. I've decided on the architectures for the worlds, and kind of what I think I should do for each one. But I haven't decided on basically any of the sim creations, except for the ones I've done, and Mount Komorebi? No. Mount Komorebi. I should probably stop trying because I just sound silly. That one, to me, it is very clearly Japanese. And that's not necessarily... Here, I'll just show you. So like some of the things like this giant, what are they called? Like pagoda or something over here. Like it's kind of a mixture of some of the Asian cultures. Like I think it's got both Chinese and Japanese elements to it. However, as far as home style goes, let's see, which one? And just the names, honestly, like these names are very clearly Japanese, at least Japanese inspired, because I don't know much about Mandarin, but I've noticed a pattern with Chinese versus Japanese, and Japanese seems to have like twice the amount of syllables, at least, with their names for things than China. So China likes to keep it a little bit more simple sometimes. Like there's a lot more one syllable words and names. And anyway, that's just the pattern I've noticed. I by no means have any expertise on Chinese or Japanese culture at all. In fact, before my boyfriend, I would say that I had zero knowledge on Chinese or Japanese culture, or just any part, like that part of the world. I was just kind of like, I knew nothing about, besides India, because for some reason, growing up, I always had this weird, what would you call it? Attraction, I guess. This weird attraction to India. It didn't make a whole lot of sense. I think it just had to do mostly with the girls and how they would dress, and just like the bright colors that they would wear. And I remember I even used to take like those little sticky sequins you can just get on the plastic sheets, and I'd put one right there so that I could pretend I was an Indian girl, because I also, as a child, didn't know that doing that as a light-skinned person could be considered racist. But I claim ignorance. As a kid, I didn't know that there were no white people in India, or just that like regions had different kinds of people. Like I just kind of thought white and brown people just mixed up were just everywhere, just mixed everywhere, and it didn't really matter. And honestly, I still like to think that, because that's just how I view people in general. It's just we're all just different shades of brown. Some of us are super, super light. Some of us don't like being super, super light. And some of us are super, super dark. Who gives a shit? Anyway, completely different topic. Not gonna get into that. My pupper is having a nightmare. Oh. I'm sorry, just 1 second. It's okay. Yeah, it's okay. She was doing the little ruffs. The little tiny riffs in her sleep. Ugh. God, all I do is ramble. Okay. Sorry. Again. Yeah, so the long story short, each world has a theme. It's subjective for sure, and if you think the theme is different, sure, probably. I don't know. I don't know any better. These are just the themes I've chosen, based off of how it looks, based off of my knowledge of the world, which is mediocre. So I'm just gonna go off of that and what I see, and you get to watch, I guess, and see my process and see kind of how I view each of these worlds, I suppose. Okay, so since I've done 3 already. Oh, and also when I say these worlds, there are 3 that it excludes, and that's these 3. Because Oasis Springs it's basically just desert like this. So, and I like Strangerville more anyway. So like, I don't see a point in doing both. But who knows? Maybe by the time I've done all of them, I'll still want to do another one, and then I'll do Oasis. Maybe. Newcrest is where I actually build real houses. But when I say real, I mean like one of the strange things that I've done is I've built my actual house, the one I live in right now, onto The Sims. And it's as close to a scale model as you can get with Sims. And it's also where I'm building my dream house, and it's also where I've built my mom and my grandma their own houses. However, they've never seen them, which is sad, but hopefully I'll get to share that with you guys, and then maybe share it with them. So that's what that world is reserved for. And then Magnolia Promenade, or Promenade, that one is just, it's exclusively for businesses. So see, look, there's only one lot that you can even go onto anyway. And then the other 3 are labeled as like, this is a business. This is a place where your sim goes to spend money, like not a place where you build a home. So unless I'm actually gonna build a business, which I don't really feel like doing right now. Again, maybe like Oasis down the road I will, but for the time being, I don't really feel like doing that one or doing Oasis, and then New Crest is kind of, it's like my personal world, I guess. And here's why. You see how empty it is? Every single lot that you see here was put in by me. So like this world literally does not come with any houses. You load it up and it's just like all of the squares are empty. No homes in it whatsoever. Anyway, okay. So now that I have completely talked your ear off and probably made you wonder why you're watching this in the first place, I'm going to go ahead and choose one of the worlds. Maybe I should make this interesting. Maybe I should have like a die or something. I get dehydrated so easily. Okay, so alright, so that one is obviously going to be the shogi style, which I have the style decided, but I still don't feel like I really know how to do that style yet. Like I need to watch some more anime. Shit. Oh, that's the other thing I was going to say is this is only rated mature because I swear. And the swears tend to just kind of come out. Like, I'm not intentionally doing it. It's not like I'm just trying to make people upset or anything. And I don't actually intend on doing anything on here that could be considered mature content. Like, I guess if I actually played a game of The Sims, they do mature things sometimes. That's about all I could see happening, though. Like, that's probably the only mature thing on here that would happen. I guess you could consider some of, like, the crafts or things that I make. Like, there are some of those I'm going to do where, like, I use tools that kids probably shouldn't use, you know, knives and power tools. But yeah, otherwise, it's only mature rated because I don't want to have to worry about not swearing. Sounds super silly, but I swear I can filter myself all day and night when I'm talking in the real world to real people, things like that. But when I'm by myself and like it doesn't feel like there's anyone around, yeah, it becomes much harder to control at that point. And I actually didn't even start swearing until I started driving. So once I started driving, and you know, by myself, of course, and I learned how to drive in a terrible, terrible place. So I learned how to drive aggressively, and that's also where I learned how to swear. And it turns out video games do the same thing to me. Granted, this one shouldn't have that problem unless I'm playing an actual sim, because they do things that, oh my god. Okay, actually, story time. I know I like just started, but like, you see this girl right here, Venora. I made her specifically for this land. I was trying to make a Hawaiian girl. And I don't know, I think I did okay. She's pretty skinny, but that's just because I thought she should be pretty athletic. But anyway, I was playing her. I was playing this game, and she was in the kitchen, and she was just like, she was making something. And she's never really cooked before, so it was like one of those basic basic meals that they have them do. Like, she was making eggs and toast. That's what it was. She was making eggs and toast, okay? And I'm sitting here and I'm like, I gotta go to the bathroom. And I'm watching and it just kind of hits me and I'm like, I gotta go now. So I just get up, I run to the bathroom, and I left the game going because it's Sims, right? And I like, they act like they're their own people, so I thought it would be fine. And I was really fast too, and I only took like 30 seconds to a minute at best. I came back. She had set the house on fire, and she herself was burning alive, okay? And by the time I got here and saw it, I saw the very moment where she had suffered too much of the burning and collapsed on the ground and died. And I know she died because I paused it just as the Reaper was coming to get her. Yeah, that was traumatizing. That was traumatizing, and I'm not gonna lie, after that, like, I stared at this, and I was like, why? How did this even happen? Like, I've never had a sim fail at cooking so hard that they set the house on fire by making eggs and toast. Like, I've been able to make eggs and toast since I was at least 10 years old. Come on. But yeah, she technically died. And I reset the game. And now I don't trust them alone. And I honestly, I didn't play this game for like 6 months after that happened. I was like, it felt so real. It was like this person that I had created she just killed herself. It was rough. Anyway. So that's the story for today. I'm going to I want to show you me making one from scratch, but at the same time, the process that I go through for building a house, like, it can take so long, I swear. That one's almost done. Okay. That one's almost done. I might have to just start from scratch anyway. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I am stumped at the moment. I think I talked so much that now I'm like, now what do I do? Just dumb. Alright, well, since I seem to be at a loss, and this is my first stream, and I'm already struggling a little bit, I'm just going to take you through something I've already built, because kind of boring, I know, but I promise I do intend on doing more interesting things. Like, since I did build a scale model of my rental house that I'm in right now, I figure I could probably do that with any home, I'd like to believe. You know, if I had the basic measurements for it. I did figure out, let's see, let's just go to, yeah, let's go to build. I always think this game is so pretty. Like, I love looking at the world around it. That's part of the reason that I chose this location to build her house, actually. Just look at that. Yeah, it's so pretty. This one is unique to Strangerville specifically. Whoops. Yeah, I need you to go. Okay. Strangerville specifically is different because of, you can probably see these glowing like purple things. The whole premise of this one is that the whole town is like not invaded by aliens, but it's so crazy too because this came out like this pack specifically, Strangerville? Yeah. Strangerville came out before Stranger Things did on Netflix. And yet it seems to have like just a few similarities and they're so close in name. This place, however, this is more like New Mexico. In fact, this is exactly what New Mexico looks like. Or Moab, Utah, which is actually the state that I grew up in. So this is very familiar to me, all of this red rock and sort of desert, but also mountainy sense. When I was living in Utah, I was born and raised in Utah, and I lived there my whole life. And I only just moved away 3 months ago. Wait. July, June. 3 or 4 months ago-ish. And now I'm in a completely different state. I am in Oklahoma now. And it is a very new experience. It's very different from Utah in a lot of ways. But they're mostly good ways because it turns out, even though I was born and raised there in Utah, I never got acclimated to the altitude or the climate. Like, it's as if I was born there and my body just instantly was like, yeah, this isn't for us, and you're not gonna get over it. So I grew up like being in this place where people are very used to the altitude, and I guess the weather isn't really that bad, but they're very used to like those things and the air, and everyone around me always seemed to do fine, but yet I have all of these health issues. And I've had all of these health issues for a while now, and I was diagnosed when I was a teenager. Like, freshman year. It's when I was officially diagnosed with chronic migraine. And that's kind of when like all of the other stuff started to become more apparent as well. And the whole reason that I just barely moved is because I can't take it anymore. The constant pain and feeling sick, especially because it feels like it's for no reason. Like I feel like I can relate to like cancer patients in certain ways, but I shouldn't be able to, you know, because like I don't have a terminal illness. I don't have something that's actively killing my body, so I shouldn't be able to understand like the pills, the doctor appointments, the constant testing, the pricking and the prodding and the pain and the sickness and just the constant like not being okay. I don't feel like I should be able to even sort of understand that, and yet I do. And again, like I don't have anything terminal. I don't know what it's like to have something that scary. Mine definitely, when I say I know what, I can kind of sort of relate to what it feels like, I mean specifically just with the pain and sickness. I do not mean like the emotional burden that would have, because that's so much more than mine. Just knowing that there's something inside you that is actively trying to kill you and you could not make it through, like that's something I do not understand at all, and I'm not claiming to. So please don't take it that way. And I've lost people to cancer, so I do know how serious that is. I'm not trying to downplay that at all. It's just so frustrating having all of these symptoms that are like, yeah, it's as if there's something that's in there that's trying to kill your body, but there's not. Like, they look at my body and like, things look fine. I mean, hell, I didn't even get a diagnosis until I was 15 because I didn't know if the headaches I was having were normal or not. For my childhood, I thought it was just me being too sensitive of a kid. Because that's what I was told most of the time, is that I was just too sensitive. Or that I needed to toughen up. Anyway, so, yeah, that's the part that's frustrating. Nothing else I would ever claim to be the same. I don't want to downplay that at all. But anyway, I used to live in Utah. I don't anymore. Trying to become healthier. Trying to fix my issues. Trying to see if I can anyway. And so far, you know, it's been difficult, but I feel like there have been some improvements. So I'm pretty hopeful. All right. This is what the entire house looks like from the front. And I haven't actually looked at this in a while, so I've forgotten a little bit about it. But one of the things that I will do now, because it's just easier, is I always turn off the, I guess you can just call it like the objects, like if they're like too close, the spacing of the objects, I always turn that off, which is a cheat code technically, but you can get these codes like directly from the Sims website, and on the Sims website it even says we encourage the use of these cheats, so it's really not like a big deal. If you do have the game and you want to do it and you don't know how for any reason, you press Control Shift and the letter C, at the same time, pops open that thing, which I can barely see, but yeah, it's fine. And then you type in BB, which I assume means build something, maybe build base or whatever. BB dot move objects. Enter. And then it'll say move objects cheat is on, which basically just means you can put things anywhere you want now. You won't be restricted by the place for the most part. There are still a few things that it's like, oh well, like stairs, like even with the move objects cheat on, you still can't put stairs through walls and certain things like that. What is that? That's gross. Okay, yeah. So even with the cheat, you can't do that. You still have to like stay within the boundaries of the lot. There's some like cool stuff you can't do, but for the most part, you can put things wherever. And that's super important when you're trying to build a house that's realistic, because Sims houses, they are not realistic. They have to be spaced very far apart. Like everything needs to have like, did the grid turn off? Oh no, it's because I'm on a different layer. Okay. But anyway, they need to have like a full square of space around them, and that's just ridiculous. Like, if you were to see the way that my office setup is right now, like, you would not believe it. It's so tiny, so small, and yet it's fine. Like, I can make it work. It's not that big a deal. Sims, they can't. They will stand there and then just, like, yell at you. Like, seriously, from the ground, they'll just be like, hello, hello, I can't move because this is here. And I'm just sitting there like, are you kidding me? Really? It's funny. I know that that's like a game mechanic though, and like that's probably not a super easy thing to fix, but it is something that I find silly, and it can happen more when you have this cheat on. Except for I've noticed that when I have the cheat on, like, maybe this is just me, but I've had like the sim like walk up to something, and then instead of telling me that it needs to be moved, she'll just like stand there and stare at it. And then whatever I told her to do will just like disappear and she'll leave. So they react a little differently, I guess, when you have the cheat on and things are in their way. I really like this. I forgot that I put this much effort into this house. One of the things that is also a struggle is that in order to show the full house, you have to be on the top floor, which would be the roof. And when you're on the roof, it's kind of hard to look at the house as a whole, because the camera constantly wants to readjust to being only on the top floor. It's not like a big deal, but I don't want to make anyone motion sick, so I'm sorry if that happens. I'm just going to kind of walk you through why I built the house the way that I did. And then, you know, maybe I'll get started on something new. Maybe I'll spare you and end it after. I don't know. I am an introverted person with ADD. So that's why I can get so chatty, but then also still be very self-conscious. Anyway, instead of being embarrassed about my awkwardness, though, I'm just gonna let it happen, and you guys can laugh and have amusement at the expense of my awkward, embarrassed And yep. And that is fine. I would laugh at me too. And in fact, I do still laugh at me. Especially if I'm alone. I don't know what it is. I think I'm really used to being alone, or at least I was growing up. And so I amuse myself, I guess. I don't know. Okay, so one thing you'll notice right off the bat. All right, you've seen the Full House. You get the gist, right? I'm gonna go down just one floor. Whew. Maybe now the camera will play a little bit nicer. Okay, so one thing you'll notice right off of the bat is that I have this giant. What's it called? Oh, it's right. This is a microscope. The biggest microscope I've ever seen. And it actually sounds kind of funny to say it. Like it's this giant microscope. What is that called? It's like there's a word for it. I can't think of it. Anyway, so the reason that there's a giant microscope out here is because the person I created for this world, I specifically created to do the world challenge, which is to figure out what the hell is going on with Strangerville. And why are these like purple glowing plants appearing everywhere? And you can actually see, well, maybe you can't from here. I think it's on the other side. No, I think... Oh, okay. I think it's where this dark spot is over here. But there's like a secret lab. Like it's supposed to... It gives me like Area 51 vibes. But you know, in like a Sims way. So I made this character to be a scientist at that lab and to figure out the mystery of Strangerville. And I did actually get her to do it, so that was pretty cool. And I'm not gonna lie, it was more like action-packed than I thought it would be for a Sims game. So yeah, so she has all of this stuff at home because she had to do a lot of like secret missions and like stuff in the middle of the night where you can't go to the lab and study it. So out here, she's got the microscope. Inside, you have it's kind of a mess. And actually, it's easier to see when you turn the grid off. But like this here, chemical analyzer. This is just careful tinkering table is what it's called. She can't actually use it. It's mostly just decoration. But this she can. It's it says listening device. So basically just spy equipment or hacking or I don't know. But yeah, that's why she has those things. One thing I did differently in this house that I've never done before is this little corner here. So normally I try to make the houses like line up because otherwise it gets kind of difficult with spacing and everything. But I wanted the slanted wall, so I gave myself the slanted wall, even though it left out a big corner. Something that usually bothers me, but in this case, I made it look pretty nice actually. Put some bushes and a bird bath, and is that practical? No, but I just wanted something to look pretty. There it is. Okay. So on the outside, I used this sort of texture because I was trying to get like an Adobe feel, like for the house itself, which is interesting because the houses around here, I don't know if you've seen them, well, like this one, that one, that one, they're all a very specific style, which to me is not the desert adobe sort of style. It's like, it's almost like old colonial, which I would want to do for a different world. This world is just so like, plus, like I said earlier, it does look a lot like New Mexico, and when I was in New Mexico, a lot of the houses were closer to adobe style than they were to this colonial stuff. And like a lot of them had that roofing that's let's see, do they have it here? They do. This kind of roofing, the Mediterranean, I guess, where it was like the curved red roof. That's what it had. So I was trying to get that sort of feel while also making it still match the environment, like not stand out too much. I did try to use as many things from like the Stranger Things pack as possible, but you'll notice a couple of windows here and here. Those are from the island stuff. But most of the other windows and fence and plants, especially like the cactus and everything, like most of those are from the Stranger Things, God, the Strangerville pack. I actually love her bedroom. The tree goes into it though, which I don't mind. I wish you could see it without it though, because like in a real life situation, if the tree did get that close, it would grow down, or like you'd trim it. It wouldn't grow into the actual house, but whatever, it's fine, I guess. And actually, just so I can show you the bedroom, I'll just kind of put that there. I also made her house pretty. This one is actually pretty small for like houses that I normally make, but I was trying to be more realistic with it, especially since she's just a single girl that lives by herself. So that's her bedroom. I think it's adorable, and I would definitely have this bedroom if I lived alone for whatever reason. And this sort of bay window sort of deal, I'm obsessed with. Like, I need one in my life. So you'll probably see me adding these in houses a lot because I love them. And I want bay windows so bad, and like just big windows in general. Luckily my rental house has big windows actually, but you can't see them because it makes it much harder to see me. But yeah, because I love the big windows, that's why she also has this like big glass door that leads to the balcony. And then I love these little windows. Like, they're the same as these, except they're just little. Yeah, Sky Parlor, I guess. I love them. I don't know why they're part of the Strangerville pack, because to me, those windows specifically, they look more like castle-like than whatever this is. I still used them, though, and they look great, I think. Oh, here, let's see if we can, yeah, there we go, put the tree back. But yeah, so this is her, like, her study. And you can use the study, you can go through the study to get to the bathroom or her bedroom. It kind of makes it as though like her study is almost part of her bedroom, but not quite. I like that aspect. I use quite a few different lights in here, which I don't know how much I love anymore. But I also put a lot of like paintings up on the walls because since I am an artist and I do paint now, like we generally have lots of paintings and artwork hanging around our house, so I like to add in as much of that as I can. What is that? Oh, she made this. This is something you can't actually just buy and insert. Like, she made this at the science lab, so that was pretty cool. This little chess table right by the window where the bird bath is, like, it all looks very impractical, but it also looks so cute, and I love it. I just think it's so cute. I should have kept these lights. Oh dear. I should have kept those lights in here as well, because these ones just don't match. They just don't. They're great, don't match. This is the bathroom. And this is another island thing that I used here in place of the Strangerville thing, because I think the shower just looked like... Here, let's look, actually. Yeah. The shower is just... It's gross. Here. Like, look at that. Is it super cool for a DIY shower? Oh, no, oh, no, oh, no. It totally is. Yeah. It's super cool and, like, nifty, innovative. It's also disgusting. Look at that. Like, and that just looks like a hose. And the water heater. Yeah. I don't like it. I don't like it. So the island one, yeah, that's what she gets to have for this. Anyway, there's not really anything special about the bathroom. So might as well just go downstairs now. I've always liked the idea of having like a sort of like front room that's, see, it's just so difficult to really get the full idea. But I've always loved the idea of having like this little sort of front room where a foyer, I suppose, is what you would call it. And now that I live in Oklahoma, I especially want one because even though I want to sit outside on my porch, like really bad, I really do. I step outside for 30 seconds and I get eaten alive by mosquitoes. And I can't stand it. I can't tolerate it. And it's always me, like, I always get bitten 100 times more than my boyfriend ever does. And, like, what the hell? But, yeah, so the mosquitoes. Every single time, every single day I go outside, I have a new mosquito bite. The other day I had one right on my freaking knuckle. It was the worst. So I wish that I could have a porch that, like, it looks like a porch, but it's covered so that the damn mosquitoes can't get to me. But yeah, and I lots of artwork in here. These are supposed to be like tinted windows, which I think is kind of cool because they're tinted on the outside, but then like, oh, I guess they're still tinted on the inside, but it's like a different color. That's weird. There's another version of those that are like blue tinted, and the inside you can't tell at all. Okay, so here's another thing that I've always loved, and that's the breakfast nook. I've always thought that was adorable and something I definitely want. It's hard to make them though, because as you can see, it's very distant from the table. And that's because if I put the table any closer, yeah, it takes up the whole chair. So then the Sims just can't use it at all. So it kind of, oh my god, come on. So it kind of has to look silly, unfortunately. But it's still pretty good. One other thing with this home, I didn't focus too much on making everything like stylish and matching. I made it more realistic, which isn't something that I normally do. Normally I try to make everything like look as nice as possible. So that's something I forgot that I did with this one, is that I tried to make it look realistic. So just a tidbit. Anyway, I love these candles, or the chandelier of sorts. And so then over here you have the stairs that go up, bookcase, and then this door which leads to the main bathroom. And this one, like, I basically made the shower myself. Like, I just took, this is from the university, and you can just put it on any wall. And then this is a wall divider, and I just put it there because I think it looks nice, and it's very unique. And, you know, obviously, like, the floor stuff in a real house, there'd be, like, some sort of protection to keep the water in there, but you can't really do that on this game. So I did that, and then if we can get through this divider, maybe. There we go. I love this little mirror. This is from the portal potty. Yeah, it's from the magic one. I think I only put it in here because it had the gold on it and it like matched. Yeah, that's definitely not Strangerville though. Oh, and then like a lot of these other like random decorations. I think I bought the movie movie night, movie night stuff pack. I think I bought that like right before I made this. And so I wanted her to have like as much of that stuff as possible because it's super colorful. And she just seemed like the kind of person that would like that. So I made the colorful door, which, let's see. Let's actually copy. Yeah, so it's called Island Loving, but if you look at this little, okay, if you look at the icon in the corner, so right there, it has, it's popcorn, so, and it's green. Anytime the icon is like a green color, that's a stuff pack. Anytime it's specifically like blue, that's a game pack. And then this in-between color, sort of like turquoise teal color, those are the full expansion packs. So yeah, I used a lot of the movie night stuff. Yeah. because I thought it was super cute and I wanted her to have it. And oh, that's cute. Just the lights hanging down in front of the window. This is very unique. I'm not gonna lie. I don't make things like this very often. And that feels weird to say because this is the one I decided to show you. But yeah, and so since I wanted her to have this like love of color and culture and stuff like that, that's why I put these lamps in, even though they don't really make any sense either. And then this hanging one, that one's from the movie pack. Yeah, that's weird. But anyway, she has this whole room, and the windows are floor to ceiling, which I've always wanted as well. And they're in the perfect place for like, so that's afternoon, evening. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure that in the real game, like when you're playing and the sun is actually setting, it comes through these windows, which is a detail that's very hard to notice when you're actually building. But it was something that I found very cool when I did actually play this girl. Okay, let's put the walls back up. All right, and so now, like, if you come outside, she's got this cute patio area. I think even this tree, yeah, right here. Even this tree is part of the movie night pack, which explains a lot because I love trees with lights and hangy things. And, like, I know it's supposed to represent a vice, but I love the willow trees that have like bottles or something hanging in it. Like, it's just so cool looking. And willow trees are my favorite. So just like hangy, flowy trees, I just love. So it matches a lot, I think. She used to have a hot tub. Yeah, because I even remember her using it on several occasions. But then I think something happened regarding the cheat that I was telling you about earlier. And I had the hot tub over here. And then for some reason, she just couldn't use it. And like I tried seeing if any other Sims could, and they couldn't either. And it was really silly. It didn't make any sense. I guess I just decided to get rid of it altogether instead of find a place for it. That must have just been because of the gameplay. Because normally I would rearrange the entire place to make something fit if I want it there. So yeah, that's kind of a weird thing that I did. Yeah, that's it. That's the whole house. Let's see, is this door? It is. It's a Stranger Things. Did it again. Strangerville. It's a Strangerville one. I tried. These plants are for sure. No, they're not. I know Strangerville came with some plants. I wonder if they're just not on here. Oh, you know what it is? There is an ability. Okay. This is one that I haven't done in a while, so I actually forgot what the exact cheat is. But if you open up the cheat bar, you can put in one that, like, it's just called, like, show hidden objects. So then it'll actually give you the choice on here to use those, like, alien plants and stuff that you see around the map. If you show the hidden objects, they will appear in your build mode, and you'll actually get to use them. And I think some of the cactuses like that as well. Yeah, yeah. These are new. I haven't used them yet. They look funny. A chicken topiary. That sounds so silly. These ones are cute. I haven't really ever looked at the topiaries. But I haven't built anything from start to finish in a while, so yeah. This is my Strangerville. Strangerville. This is my Strangerville build. And then I want to show you. Okay, no. Okay, Linares. That's her last name. This is the girl that I put in Strangerville, and she was kind of difficult to make because I wanted her to be like voluptuous, but I didn't know how to quite do it on this game because they just have kind of like a fat and skinny meter, and so it was a little bit difficult. But I think I did it, and I made her based off of my American Girl doll actually, because believe it or not, when I was a kid, my skin was almost that dark, like just about, really close. Um, and once I went through puberty, I just lost all of it and became very pale. And I hate it, but c'est la vie. So I had an American Girl doll who looks just like this because that's how I looked when I was a kid. But I don't look that way anymore. So it's kind of interesting because my doll is like brown and I am not. But that's who she's based off of. And her name is Erin, I believe, which is the name that I gave my doll. And I decided that she should be, or like I tried to make her sort of be Peruvian. Yeah. I wanted her to, I want to make a Sim that's like of a different race or ethnicity, like all the time. Especially because I've found that like since I've never really made people of other ethnicities, like I don't really know how. And that seems ridiculous. Like I should know how to make these people look unique in the ways that like match their ethnicities or whatever. And so I guess this was my first attempt, was just trying to make her look like she has some sort of different culture. And she's super smart, obviously, because she had to be the scientist. This is my Hawaiian girl, the one that I made like super athletic. I think I wanted her to be like a scuba diver or something, and like that's why I made her that way. I honestly can't remember, but yeah, she's supposed to be Hawaiian. I'm not gonna lie though, it's not the most Hawaiian look. Like like her features, like her cheekbones are definitely way too sharp. But that's something that I'm trying to train my eye in. I'm trying to be able to train myself as an artist to be able to draw people of all different kinds of cultures and not just make them all look the same, but with a different skin color. Like that is not my goal. I'm trying to learn how to actually do different ethnicities. And you'll see, so here, this is supposed to be my mom, and this is my grandma. And these two are supposed to be me and my boyfriend and our puppy, except for, oh, she's over there. We also have 2 cats, and I was going to make the 2 cats for them too. But these Sims specifically, okay, they don't take care of the dog as it is. So like they're not allowed to have 2 more cats because they can't even take care of the dog without me being there to tell them to. And like sometimes the dog will just leave and I'll like follow it like to make sure it's okay, because the Sims just don't care. And I'm like, what are you doing? But yeah, this is relatively sort of what we look like in a Sims way. It's really hard. It's really hard to try and replicate yourself. Or at least it was for me. I might attempt it again too, because I feel like I could do better. But that's basically what my boyfriend looks like. Our dog does not look like that, but she is that sort of breed. And the reason one of her ears is floppy and one is straight is because she has half floppy ears. So she's a husky lab mix. Likely with some greyhound because she's super skinny, tall, super fast. But she was a rescue, and I rescued her when she was very, very little, like just 10 weeks old was when they let me have her. And so they didn't really know what breed she was. The husky lab thing was just a guess, and the greyhound thing has been added into the guess ever since she's grown and become full size, because she just has that look. She's wiry, and she jumps around like a deer. She looks so silly. Super cute though. But so because she's half husky, like her ears are pointed and they like want to stand up like that. But she's also part lab, and lab ears lay completely flat. So her ears kind of like, they stick up for like the bottom half, and then the top half is just kind of like that. So her ears are just kind of like that. And like if she's running really fast, they'll come all the way up. But for the most part, they just kind of hang like that. Like they're not fully floppy, but they're just like that all the time. And they don't have such a thing in Sims, which is why I just gave her one straight one and one floppy one, because that's basically like saying half and half, right? Oh, those are the Sims ones. And then down here, these are my characters. You don't get to look at them for very long, though, because I want to actually talk about them before I show you. So, yeah. This was probably not the most entertaining stream of all time. But, oh hey look, there it is. The secret lab. It's even blacked out for some reason. I wonder why that could be. It's definitely not because they're hiding a giant alien monster plant creature way underneath it. They are. That's what they're doing. Yeah. I saw it. I fought it. Sort of. Aaron fought it. And it grabbed her and like flung her around. I thought she was going to die. But no, the only Sim that actually dies is the one who just set herself on fire, apparently. this sim can take being beat up by a tentacle monster it's a plant, but it's basically like a kraken. It's the size of it. And she can be beat up by that and then just be fine. But my other girl freaking makes eggs and toast and just... yeah. So hopefully from those stories alone, you'll be able to tell that my experience with video games is interesting, to say the least. I have very interesting luck, which tends to translate into everything I do, including video games. And I tend to have, like, pretty bad luck. So, but since I'm pretty used to it, I'm good at, like, handling it and figuring out how to get through it. But because of it, I tend to do things differently than other people. I'm just used to roadblocks being thrown in my way constantly. That's just kind of, that is my life. That is my life. And so that's what I'm used to. And that's how I play. And that's kind of how I act. And I just kind of expect things to happen that I don't think most people would expect, or things like that. I have examples, but I've rambled enough, and I do actually want you guys to come back. So I'm going to go ahead and call this good for today. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm not sure if I'll be playing Sims again or if I'll be doing something different. Since I am just getting started, I might stick to the games for a bit until I really get like a handle on things. But I will end up doing all sorts of things, creative things especially. I want this channel to be essentially like the creative process, like just viewing one person's experience in the creative process constantly. So that is it for me.